You've probably heard about imposter syndrome, but have you recognized imposter syndrome and how it affects sales? Hey, I'm Melanie Benson. I'm known as an authority amplifier, and I help people building a business around their expertise amplify their work in the world so they become a highly paid authority. And in order to do that, we got to oftentimes fine tune, if not outright fix, some of the parts of marketing and selling in a business. Because look, if you have a lot of passion and you have a lot of um, meaning and significance around the work you're teaching, chances are you might be bumping into some of your mindset stuff as you try to grow. So I wanted to talk about imposter syndrome today because I've been seeing, as a matter of fact, I've been getting asked to do a lot of speaking and sharing insights around imposter syndrome. I'm certainly not immune to it myself, but I recognize the impact that imposter syndrome has. And so hopefully, if you've struggled with imposter syndrome and you cannot break free of it, today you're going to learn something that maybe you didn't know before about how to create a new framework that allows you to dissolve the imposter syndrome that's holding on to your mind when you're trying to grow. So there's a couple things to think about around imposter syndrome. And I ran across this with a client of mine. I do change the name of my clients sometimes to not put them on the spot in the world. And I had a client a couple years ago. I'm going to call her Camille. She was struggling with her confidence around enrolling people in her programs. And her program was amazing. Like, she was really talented, really good at what she did, but Camille was missing confidence and it was translating to imposter syndrome. She kept doubting that what she did was important in the world. And here's what was so interesting. There's a dance, like a circle that happens between you don't believe in what you do things that cause you to hold back and maybe pull away from being seen or have a sales conversation or even make an invitation to work with you. And so you end up with a lack of results and lack of clients and lack of cash flow. So that reinforces this belief that I'm not good enough. Nobody's buying from me, right? So there's this constant cycle of having not enough sales and not enough traction. And what was happening for Camille when she came to me was she was pretty much convinced that no one wanted what she had to offer. No one was going to buy from her. She was really bad at the marketing and the selling. And all she wanted to do was just do the work, like do the processes. And it was not going to work that way. If we want to serve more people, we want to impact the lives of more people, we've got to get good at enrolling people in our programs. Because here's the truth. People buy us. They buy the energy we're creating. So you could probably start to see that Camille and the confidence that she was lacking was having a huge impact on the sales because people buy confidence. People buy what you bring in the energy department. So by the time Camille got to me, she was pretty much convinced that this wasn't for her. She wasn't going to make it in business. And this was kind of like her last ditch effort, which I appreciated. And the first thing we focused on was I helped Camille look at the cycle between the time someone learned about her and when they met with her and the invitation. So that path between, hey, Camille helps people, who are dealing with health issues, and they raise their hand and say, I want more information, usually through a lead magnet or hearing, her talk about it somewhere, to, okay, so I'm going to actually ask for a consult with Camille, to now I'm having the consult. Okay, so the whole path. And I showed Camille how the way in which she was moving people through that process was missing a key ingredient. And by the time she had an opportunity to move them through the consult, there was a lack of the right know, like, and trust factor. And the energy wasn't as high as it could be. The energy wasn't as like filled with inspiration and a desire to invest in the solution. So Camille also was missing having a really great conversation. She didn't know how to have the right conversation. So she was just kind of winging it, and she would lose control of the conversation. And, she ended up spending an enormous amount of time and this is you, just know there's a solution to this, but she was spending an enormous amount of time telling people about how her process worked instead of moving into what I call the zero friction energy by asking the right powerful questions that the person on the other end of that conversation gets to become very clear what they want to do and if you're the person they want to do it with. Camille was blown away when she realized like there were some simple fixes that as she just shifted the way she moved people through that process, it would all be better. And not only would she be making more sales, but she'd be impacting more people. She started to feel that confidence go up. And instead of leading with imposter syndrome, Camille started to lead with confidence. And then that confident Camille was enrolling more people because that confidence gets really contagious. And here's the real kicker. She knew how to hold a really good enrollment conversation. Even if the person's like, it's not a fit, it wasn't demoralizing to her anymore. Like she was like, oh, okay, got it. Like that person wasn't a good fit. They kind of slipped through the cracks of my process instead of everyone saying, no, I don't want this, which after a while, when you hear no over and over and over again, it kind of doesn't feel good. So my experience is that oftentimes imposter syndrome is reinforced because we don't recognize that we are doing these enrollment processes. We're having sales conversations. We're moving people through a buying decision-making process. And because we're leading with imposter syndrome, it's just destroying the whole energy that we could be building up for them. And what Camille really started to get was that the conversation she was having with these potential clients was the wrong conversation. People don't care how you get them there. They care that you can get them there. And oftentimes 90% of a zero friction sales conversation is the mindset we had to help the potential person access to be resourceful enough to solve the problem. And here's where I think imposter syndrome gets in the way and then can really be dissolved and replaced with confidence is if you know the right questions to ask and you feel super confident with the conversation you're having with a potential client, and they can basically put anything out, but you don't take it personally, A, and B, you know how to help them navigate their own fears and doubts and their own imposter syndrome, that you become a trusted advisor. You become a go-to expert and authority in their mind. And when you help people access the right mindset, they feel more powerful, they feel more confident, they trust you, your credibility goes up, and the sales are easier to make. See, it's my experience in the coaching world that a coach has two jobs. The first job is to help the person decide, do they really want to solve the problem and or access the goal that they're coming to you with? And two, are you the person they're going to do it with? Assuming that they'd say, yes, I want to solve that. And all that is mindset and connection. So here's what I discovered, and this was a big aha for Camille, is that 90% of the sales conversations you're having are going to be about what is really in the way. See, when somebody comes to you, they're usually coming with a fair amount of fear. There's probably some worry. There's doubt. And some of it's about you, but a lot of it is about them. Like, can I make the right decision? Because in the past, I've maybe made the wrong decision and I've spent money on mentors that kind of messed me up. Can you really help me? What happens if I invest in you and it doesn't work? Do I believe in myself enough to allow someone to help me get to my goal? Like, can I really do it? And can I be the person who's resourceful enough to not just accomplish this goal I'm saying I want to accomplish with this coach or this service provider or this expert, whatever it is, but can I break free of my own fears and doubts to cover this investment and make it profitable? Like, there's all this stuff jumbled up in their heads. And when you have really great conversations, the friction goes down in them, the friction goes down in you, and the resourcefulness goes up, and that's where flow happens. So it's my real desire to help more people who are really passionate about their service, their programs, their offerings, get out of all that friction, the places where they don't know what to do, they don't know how to navigate the conversation, they don't feel confident in themselves. Maybe you've never sold anything before and you're like, does it even work? And you have all this doubt and this fear, and now your clients got doubt and fear, and everybody's in this big quagmire of doubt and fear. Well, let's dissolve that doubt and fear and let's build up some confidence. Okay. And when you are building a zero friction sales process, it's based on your superpower and how you solve a problem for people. And if you can really anchor that in and you ask the right questions to make sure that A, the person has the problem that you are uniquely designed to solve, or your offering is uniquely designed to solve, and B, that they can take the leap of faith and invest in themselves and the work they're going to do with you, and see that they're going to follow through, then we have not just made a sale, but we have actually created a breakthrough for the other person. And that's what's so exciting is people have fears. They're walking around with a lot of stuff. They're really challenged, and it's very rarely about you. And it's very much about a pattern that they're living with. Your job, the mastery, is to get really, really good at that zero friction part of it, so that by the time they get to you, they know they want to work with you, and you just have to help them feel confident to make a decision and an investment. It's really powerful when you see it all come together. So I think it's important to remember that when you are in the sales process, it's very rarely about what it is you're going to do with them. It's not how you're going to do it with them. There's three key things. Can they get out of their own way and make the leap? Can you help them achieve the results that they want and they need? And are you enough of a credible expert for them to trust you to get to yes? So I'm going to unpack the credibility piece a little bit more in the next video that I do. But today, I really want to talk about the mindset, because mindset is where people get stuck. And the mindset is what most of us are not accessing if we're just focused on the features. Okay. So we've got to get out of talking about, okay, my program works like this, you get this many hours, and into what do they want? What is it worth to them? What's at stake if they don't get there? And are you the right person to help them achieve that goal? That's mindset. That's getting that imposter syndrome to shatter, not just in you, but in them, and replace with confidence. So the more confident you are, and the more you're able to access these very powerful tools to guide people through a conversation, the more confident they will be in deciding on you. I cannot wait to teach my zero friction sales workshop. It's a part of the Amplify Your Authority Inner Circle. We are currently accepting new members, and the only way to access the workshop is when you join us in Amplify Your Authority Inner Circle. I'll post that in the link if you want to check it out. You can also head over to amplifyinnercircle.com. But I want you to make a decision today. Is it time to up your game in your own mindset, shatter any places where imposter syndrome is in the way, and really have the confidence to move people through the sales conversation so that getting them to a yes, or getting them to a clear decision, even if it's not you right now, it's just a clear decision, will be the most empowering place you can lead them. Zero friction sales is all about mindset with a little bit of process to help you be the most powerful coach, mentor, service provider, expert, authority, so that you can help people get more of what they want to. All right, we'll be back with more soon. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's episode. What is it that gets in your way? Where's the mindset gap for you when you're holding space in a sales conversation? And what is it time to do? Like, what are you willing to do differently to be more confident and shatter any places where imposter syndrome is getting in the way of your sales. Okay, bye for now.